Over the years, lots of my students have complained to me that they just don't get the present perfect simple. In Poland, they say, "We have only 3 tenses. Why do you have so many tenses in English?" They also say that the past simple is just easier, so I'll use that. And what I tell them in response is that there's so much richness and context that the present perfect simple adds to our communication. Now, if you just stick with me during this lesson, I promise you'll come out on the other side with a better understanding of the differences between the past simple and the present perfect simple. Welcome to Native One English Learning with your teacher, me, John Williams. Now, I like to express my teaching with dynamic, animated explainer videos to give you that graphical, visual element to help you with your English learning. So for those of you who've already subscribed, I'd like to give you my thanks. And if you haven't done so yet, it's not too late. Go ahead and tap that subscribe button. I promise it won't hurt you. So with that said, let's jump into the video.
Hi, and welcome to my Grammar Explainer video. In this module, you're going to learn the differences between the past simple and the present perfect. Let's observe a starter example from a cover letter by Connie Page. Your advert said that the position requires a person who can speak French. Well, I have both lived in a French-speaking country and worked in a French company. In fact, as you can see from my CV, I worked in Paris from 2013 to 2018. My experience living and working in France will be a definite asset if you take me for this position. Let's look closer at the text and observe some differences between the past simple and the present perfect. We'll start with the past simple. She worked in Paris from 2013 to 2018. We know the what and the when. It's now 2020, so the time frame is also finished. If we add the additional information from her CV, such as Connie also worked in the French-speaking part of Switzerland and worked in Quebec last year. Now you can see a string of actions that we describe sequentially. First, she worked in Switzerland for a year. Then, she worked in Paris for 5 years. And finally, she worked in Quebec last year. Now, let's see how the present perfect is different. I have lived and worked in a French-speaking country. There is no mention of when, only what. The what is more important than the when. The what, that she has worked in a French-speaking country before, matters for the present situation. That she is applying for this job and her experience will be helpful. What this means is that the present perfect is useful for describing or implying cause and effect. It is also useful for grouping past finished actions together over a stretched time period that links to the present. Here, the number of related actions is more important than the timing or sequence of the actions. In the last 7 years, I have worked 3 jobs, all in French-speaking countries. Let's review the present perfect aspects and some examples of their time expressions. Have a look at the man. Why is he celebrating? Because he has just reached his goal, the cause. The rungs in the ladder represent all the actions taken in the past for him to be in his present situation. Therefore, the ladder is his connection to the present. He is at the top of the platform. He has reached his goal because he has completed all those steps before. Here are the aspects of the present perfect. With an understanding of our relation to the present time, we may or may not have a starting context. For example, for or since. The finished action relative to the present could be recently finished. It or the action could be finished any time before the present. Also, we count cumulative actions or a group of related actions that bear an effect on the present. Basically, this asks or answers the question of how much or how many over time. We use it to share life experiences. The present perfect also helps us to form action sequences in the first conditional with time clauses such as before, after, and as soon as. And when there is no mention of the time when it happened. Let's review. The past simple answers the what and the when. It uses closed time expressions, which make it definite past. It provides a simple, linear sequence of actions. If we are using sequencing, linking words like first, next, then, after that, and finally, the past simple is used. And finally, the past simple takes over after the time context is established. For example, interviewer: have you ever lived in a French-speaking country? Interviewee: yes, I have. I lived in Paris from 2013 to 2018. And now the present perfect places an emphasis on what over when. We can group all related actions that have an effect on the present situation. It uses either no time expression or an open, unfinished time expression, such as the following. And we can group all related actions that have an effect on the present situation. Lastly, it can be used to establish the time context with have you ever questions, as explained before with the past simple.
Okay, I'm back, and I hope you enjoyed my presentation on the differences between the past simple and the present perfect. My take as an English teacher of over 14 years is that the present perfect is one of those tenses that just helps us to add more richness and context and meaning through our communication. So if you want to speak like a native speaker, then this is one of those tenses you're just going to have to master. So hopefully this presentation helped you with that. Now, before you leave and find your next watch, I've left something special down in the description for you. That will be a link to a free download of the PDF that I used to make this presentation. So you can have that for free as my gift to you for watching, as a study tool that you can use to help you take your English learning to the next level. Additionally, you can find the transcript of this presentation over on my blog, native1.pl. You can also find the link to my blog down in the description. I'll definitely be back with more animated explainer videos to help you with your English learning. But that's it for now. John Williams signing off.